What's changed over the last 5 years or so in behind the meter, and then what's coming? What's coming in the next decade? Are things getting easier or better or worse for behind the meter? But firstly, what is this behind the meter thing? What does that mean?
So behind the meter for us is basically everything that happens behind a specific fiscal meter. I mean, it can be 2 or 3, but on a site, right? On a specific site that is behind a fiscal meter, simply said. So that can be like a small commercial unit. It can be a larger residential area, something like that. It can be energy communities, because we believe a lot, and we may come to it, in energy communities taking over more and more going forward. And that's just a bit of a bigger behind the meter project, if you want. But everything that happens behind a fiscal meter on a specific site.
When you say fiscal meter, you mean an electricity meter that determines how much electricity you pay for?
Yeah.
A kilowatt hour
Yeah.
meter. Okay, cool. So this is on a customer site behind that. And then what's changed?
Hell, thinking back, right? So, well, a lot of the regulation has changed around duos and the triads and all that, you know that, right? And will keep changing. So that part of the business model hasn't improved. I think.
Although you got an extra year of triads, right? Didn't you get an extra, or an extra 2 years?
Yeah, I think
it's
still 2023 now, right? So it was this one and then the next one, right? I haven't even looked at triads this year yet. That will be an interesting one, because it's such a weird weather pattern. To me, there is like 2 key trends, right? If you see happening, and we can talk wider. One is really this trend, and this is not since now, but this decentralization trend, right? I really believe that look forward 10, 15 years, and what you're going to see is more energy islands, right? That pop up, like energy communities, if you want, that generate, store, and consume their energy by themselves, right? Behind their fiscal meter, right? Yeah. And that can be quite wider. And there is EU legislation actually that allows these energy communities to buy the local grid from the DNO, as an example, right? So this is something that we see more coming, and it makes sense at these kind of energy prices. And they use the grid to kind of like balance out whatever the surplus is, right?
For example, is this like a group of offices, or is this people in their homes, or is this what an example of one of these energy communities? What would that be?
It could be like a neighborhood, right? It could be a residential one, but maybe like a commercial neighborhood where you have a few shops around there, right? You may have some residential ones as well. And now the trick is, instead of each single business and each single residential inhabitant of that area buy a battery, put in a system, they do it together, right? They put a little bit of a bigger battery in, they put one big heat pump in, because that's going to come as well. They put together a solar farm in, maybe even a small wind turbine as well, and manage to a large extent their energy generation, consumption, and storage on site.